Well, Bishop, first of all, I like your car. No, I'm just kidding. What do you think of this thing, man?
Wow, I mean, it's definitely sweet. I've never been inside one of these before. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome.
Well, the reason we have you here is that really what the guys do at the Lamborghini Lab here at the University of Washington is kind of similar to what you do in the off season, and that is to fine-tune things to make sure the performance is at 100% come game time, when it's time to race, time to get out there and go. So maybe talk a little bit about some of the things that you do, particularly now during the off season, to make yourself a better athlete.
Well, definitely, we work on speed training, agility training. Coach Ivan and the whole strength staff is constantly on us about, becoming faster and more explosive. Another thing I do is a lot of running hills throughout the off season, just to work on that acceleration and that initial burst.
And that's what they're talking about here with these cars, and what they're really trying to do is get the acceleration. And they're talking about now more in race cars that the acceleration is even more important than how fast you can go, your top end speed. Not every running back can be Chris Johnson and have a 4.2. A lot of guys in the NFL, in college football, are great running backs because they can get off the line, they can accelerate. So talk about some of the specific training you do to make sure that first step, that first burst through the line when you get the football is at its fastest.
Yeah, well, some people have told me that through the first to 10 yards is the most important, even in the 40, getting that initial burst and acceleration. Kind of going into more detail about, some of the stuff we do. We run a lot throughout the off-season condition-wise. We work on 40 starts and just constantly working on their explosion. We do sled pulls and different stuff like that. And also how we lift. We like to lift explosively, doing Olympic lifts like platform lifts, power cleans, hang snatches, all kinds, just to constantly work on our explosion. Pretty much that's pretty much it throughout the whole off season. Where a lot of our training is based on speed and explosive.
Talk about the difference between starting from zero behind the quarterback, where you're just in a 2-point stance waiting to get the ball, so you're really going from 0 to 60, in other words, versus getting through the line with the ball where you have to slow down, maybe make a move, and then you see a seam. So talk about how it's different going from standing still versus when you're kind of slowing up, making a move, and then you got to burst downfield.
Well, for running backs, I feel it's kind of different. We use the term slow to the hole, speed through the hole. So, when we're in the backfield, standing behind the quarterback, we're kind of taking our time, being patient until we see a hole, and then that's when we accelerate through and really try to hit it full speed. As far as second level cuts, our coach always emphasizes full speed cuts. So even after we get through the initial line of scrimmage, we're all also trying to make full speed cuts to make guys miss and get a step on them.
How about weight? I mean, you got great running backs that are 175 pounds. You got great running backs that are 230 pounds. I mean, is it individual as far as how heavy you want to be? I mean, what's your ideal weight where you think your power and your acceleration is at its peak?
I feel like, honestly, it depends on the person. Our sports trainers do a good job with determining that, what weight we should be at or what would be a good weight for us. For me, I'm trying to put on a little bit of weight, but I feel like as long as I feel comfortable with running and explosive and my explosiveness, the sky's the limit as far as weight. It's just all depends on the person and how much they can handle.
And how about the fuel? Obviously, you got to put high octane stuff in this beast right here. So,
yeah,
what about the fuel? I know college kids, they want to eat pizza and they want to go to Dick's Burgers and they want to power all this stuff down. But you got to, is there a time of the year where you can kind of let loose a little bit, and then other times you got to really eat well, or how does that work?
Well, I mean, it'd probably be better if you don't, let loose at all. But I mean, being realistic, I feel like definitely closer to the season and times where our workouts are more intensive and we have more practices, I feel like it's definitely important for you to fuel yourself with the right kinds of foods. And that's something our training table does a great job with here at the university.
Let's go for a spin. What do you think?
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right.